We are live. Welcome, everyone, to Blacksburg on the Rocks.
Yo.
You like that song, Nels?
I love it. I
wrote that shit.
Let me just say that the Seven of Diamonds is none other than the iconic Jim Harbaugh, former quarterback and head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Go Blue.
Oh, yeah.
You mean a cheater?
No, he is not
what
a
kind
cheater.
of card is that?
It's a playing card. So I have a deck of we had fantasy football draft the other day, and as commissioner, I'm old school, so I go 1 through 8 or ace through 8, and I just people pick a card. Like I hold them like this, and then people just tell me what card they want, and then what I do is I will say to them, "You selected Desmond Howard, wide receiver, 1989 to 1991, and it is the first pick." So that's how that goes. It's very important.
Clearly, very important.
Yeah.
Chris Arnold, shout out. Open the doors to Lord Jeremy's Hall. I actually, because of my excellent now developed Photoshop skills, I've made some edits.
Okay.
And now I have Hokie Bird statues.
I like it.
Yeah. And Doug, we're excited to have you back after missing the last 3 episodes as well.
Yes. He had
Welcome
a good
back,
reason.
Doug.
He had a good reason. I will give him that. And Doug, I can't tell what your profile picture is, but I'm sure it sucks. Oh, is that me
Is that
me in a pair of bike shorts and a t-shirt, and I have the bike shorts the t-shirt hiked up. I'm not showing you all that. That's from oh my God. Let's say 2013, 2014, somewhere in there.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very
Sexy. Sexy's the word.
It's a
Handsome.
style. It's a style. Yeah, that's all I can really say. It's certainly a style.
Nels, you're being called out by Chris Arnold. He wants you to look more excited. You don't look very excited to see us,
Well,
Nels.
that's because I haven't opened this bad boy yet.
Open it
Nice.
up. Crying out loud.
Great.
Get in
Goose
that
from-
Grey Goose. Face it, Nels.
A gift from, I don't know if y'all can see the frost, just
Oh, yeah,
right out of the freezer. It's a gift from my friend Marissa for my birthday, which is February 25th, but I actually got it 2 weeks ago because she drank it all. So
Nice.
this is
It's a keeper,
an
Nels.
iteration of it, but finally got it in my hands. But I can't even open this thing because the frost. Look, you see how it turns? It's turning the entire thing.
boy.
Oh. Yeah, Nels may have to just break it over and chug it.
just
Get
crack
a
it
little
on the
glass
chest.
in your mouth like a man.
It's like
Yeah.
when don't captains do that when they christen a ship? They like toss glass against the side of like a submarine or something.
You bang a
I do not
bottle
know,
of
but-
wine or something like that against it.
This
A
is
lot
like
of people
bottle
may
wine.
not know this, but Nels and I, we are excellent drinkers because we are fraternity brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Shout
That
out
is true.
Delta Upsilon chapter.
is
Alpha
true.
Sigma Phi. Yes.
There you go.
Very proud. Little do people know, Frank Beamer is actually one of our fraternity brothers at our chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Little known fact. Yes.
He was inducted in like Norfolk or something.
Yeah.
We actually got a video of him saying to rush Alpha Sig on our Instagram. It's down there
Yeah.
somewhere. And then we made blow up posters. You know, those like Uncle Sam wants you to fight and whatnot.
Yeah.
We got that of him just like sitting in the chair and being like, Beamer wants you to rush. And it's somewhere in our house, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's a nice selling point for the boys rushing in the fall and in the spring.
That's true.
I myself
That is
was
true.
a spring pledge, but
I was fall pledge.
I'm a teak from Lake Superior State University. I have never had any interaction with any of the teaks at Virginia Tech. I also haven't really tried, but our famous celebrity brothers are Elvis Presley, Ronald Reagan, and WWE professional wrestler The Big Show. There you go. That's my 3.
The Big Show.
The
Wow,
Big
that's a
Show.
callback.
That is,
cheers to that. I just poured this.
Cheers, The
to
Big
that.
Show.
Yeah,
Hey.
Big Show. Mhm. In fact, I don't know if you can see it anymore, but when he used to wrestle on one of his calves, he just had a TKE. So
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
yes,
cool.
yes, Marnie, the actor. He's also a president, former president. R.I.P.
Ronald Reagan, the actor.
The actor? Yeah.
Nels may
Also,
not know
Chris-
that movie.
I don't. But Chris,
It's
like,
Back to the
I would
Future.
I'd like it to be known. It's NELS, not NELLS. It's fine. It's a common mistake, but
That is true. And it's also
Really?
not Nelson. The only person that gets away with calling him anything other than Nels is his mom, and I believe she calls you Nelsy, right?
mm-mm.
Nelsykins.
No.
It's
No,
Nelsykins.
it's something similar to that. I know that because she did it one day at the station when Nels and I worked together. And I was
Did
like,
you really?
I gotta
Yeah.
fucking remember this. and obviously I've forgotten it, so I got it. It's close. I know that.
Speaking of which,
sometimes-
Nels, congratulations. Like,
Thank
I'm
you.
so fucking psyched that the drive is
Thank
back.
you.
You're doing a really good job, brother.
Thank
like-
you. Cheers to that, boys.
I don't know if you know this.
It feels-
That show means a lot to me. Paul and them, they got me through COVID. You were excellent when you came on, and I'm really proud of you for getting this spot and bringing it over and, continuing on Paul's excellent legacy.
I sent the picture of MJ and LeBron in the group chat we had, like in the production group chat.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. For anyone that doesn't know, like I just heard that it might have been coming back, and I was like, yeah, I'll toss my hat in the ring. I'm unemployed.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they told me I was on a short list, and now I'm here. And it's been a crazy past month. Like I genuinely cannot believe. Like I haven't processed the fact that like I'm even hosting this. Like I walked into the studio on Monday, was showing around the equipment and whatnot, and then 4:00 hit, and I just immediately reverted back to the self that I was in. Co-hosting, except this time I was in the captain's chair. And
Is it? I
What's up?
never got to co-host. We messed around a little bit with that when like Andrew and Nathan were there during COVID, but it was like kind of like a one-time thing, and I didn't like it because they were being idiots. No surprise there. So I never sat in the other studio. And for those that don't know, when we refer to the other studio, it's literally separate entity. We can see each other through the glass, but there's like he is co. So is it different? Like, and how different is it going from co-host to sitting in the big chair?
It's so different because you feel like when you're in that co-host chair, you are a separate entity to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Taylor, I mean, I don't want to say he just kind of sits there because he contributes, but like when you're the co-host, it's mainly the host and the guest talking for one another.
Mm-hmm.
And then every so often I'll look over and like, Paul, you do this. You'd be like, do you have a question? And then I'd either say yes or no.
Yeah.
And that's it, So to like have the co-host and say that he has the next question, it's nice, but Taylor's still learning. And, sometimes he won't want to ask a question. Sometimes he will. So for that reason, it's so weird because I'm like, I have to ask the next question. If he doesn't have a question, I have to do this, and I have to come up with something, and I have to find a way. And
how hard do you hit him to encourage him?
Well, these hands don't haze, but my feet might. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh.
And in terms of like,
Wait, is it a brother?
What?
Who's the co-host? Is that a brother?
No, Taylor Brettle is not. He's just. He's
Oh
in
no,
sports
then he's
media,
just
though.
an adult man. That's not hazing. That's just friendship.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's like it's very different because I'll just be like, I have to remind the listeners who is sitting across from me, right? It's like an airport. The way I learned it was like it's like an airport. You got to be telling people who's on every few questions. Especially Paul, you taught me that as well. I got to bring people in and out of the show. I got to mute Taylor, if he's like sitting there. I got to like. I'm just having to be more cognizant as to what's in front of me. Because, I mean, Paul, I'm not going to say which guest, but there are certain guests where I was like, all right, Paul's got this. I'm going on my phone. I was like, I've had too bad of a day. I got homework to do. I was like, Paul's on the phone. Yep. But now, like, for instance, I had Michael Abraham of Pete Dye River Course at Virginia Tech on today, and I don't know anything about golf. Mm-hmm. I know how it scores. I can't, I need to learn. That was a running gag on when I was a co-host. I was like, Nels doesn't know how to golf. Yeah. He needs to be taught. But now that I'm bringing on Michael Abraham and the Pete Dye River Course to sponsor, I got to talk to him about it. And in a way, like today, I was like, explain to the listeners how the scoring works. How does this work? And next week, I'm going to ask him probably about live golf because we only did the PGA Tour. Mm-hmm. And what makes it even worse is that the golf season is winding down. Yeah. But it's so, it's just surreal. Like walking in there and I was putting up stuff on the wall today.
Well, listeners get to go on that journey with you, Nels. That's a big plus. They get to go on that journey and learn. I don't know if Paul's told you, but I'm excellent at golf. I am an excellent golf player.
Yeah.
And I could have really benefited from that journey, I'm sure.
Do we have a, because I don't, for whatever reason, have admin privileges because I got something screwed up on my iPad here. Do we have a bullshit banner that we can put across the
we do, but you don't get to play with it right now.
Because that's absolutely what that is. So I think the biggest thing, Nels, and I think you can attest to this, is when you're sitting in that co-host seat, you can coast, right? You could, and you kind of mentioned it, right? Paul's got this interview. I can play on my phone. I can do homework, whatever. When you sit in that other chair, like there's no coasting. It's just
no.
I got to go. I've got 2 hours, and I've got to fill this entire 2 hours. And if I don't, like, I'm effed. I remember one time, I don't know if I've ever shared this story. I got cocky. It was football season. Everything was going. Everything was in full swing. Now, I had the advantage where Nels, they've kind of honed what Nels does in, right? If it's not Blacksburg, if it's not Virginia Tech, if it's not the Carolina Panthers, we're probably not going to talk about it. Mine was more broad. I was able to talk, I could talk about the Cleveland Browns and what a dumpster fire they were. I could talk about Big Ten football if I wanted to. I could talk about other ACC schools. I had more of a broad scope. I was probably it was football season, so I was probably about 8 months in at ESPN Blacksburg. And I was like, it's football season. I got this. We're good. I've got 3 guests lined up. No issue at all. I can bang out, the other 5 segments without a problem. We'll be good. This was before Tina in traffic. This was before we had a text line, anything like that. So I get going on the show. First segment, fine, no problem. Second segment rolls around. We go to call our guest. Our guest doesn't answer. All right, I can make this work. We'll be okay. Do the segment. Get to the third segment. I'm like, try to call the guest again, see if they answer. KG at the time was my producer. He tries to call the guest again. They don't answer. And I don't remember who the guests were. It's irrelevant. So now I'm going, ooh, okay. I can talk ACC football. I'll be okay. Talk ACC football. Get out of that hour. Now we have another guest schedule. We have a guest at 5 and a guest at 5:30. Call the 5 o'clock guest. They don't answer. And I'm like, oh, shit. What am I, like, I don't have anything prepared, right? Muddle through another segment. Nothing scheduled for 5:15. Muddle through another segment. 5:30 rolls around. I'm like, this person always answers. I know they will answer. They didn't answer. And at that point, I was tapped. Like I had
nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about. And
I've never witnessed you not have something to talk about.
99% of that, Jeremy, was I was in panic mode, right? Like I was trying to prep on the fly during a 3-minute commercial break. And I just wasn't finding anything that I thought was intriguing, local. And you got to remember, too, this was back during the Fuente era. So it wasn't like we were getting fed a bunch of information from Virginia Tech football. I mean, James Mitchell was fine, even though he was in a walking cast and broke his leg and was done for the season. He was fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
That was the kind of crap that we got back then. So from that day forward, I began prepping every show as if no guests would show up. So I had 2 hours of prep. And if I didn't use that prep in the show before, I saved it. And the next day I prepped another 4 hours. So like by the end of the week, and Nels probably remembers seeing this, there were probably 20 icons on my desktop of different documents, Word documents of show prep, just in case nobody showed up. So Nels, let that be a lesson to you. Don't make the same mistake I did. Don't think that, midway through.
Whoa, that camera.
Why is this camera zooming like that?
It
just gave me a full view. Paul, how loose are those shorts?
I really hope nobody under the age of 18 was looking at that. Good Lord.
I hope they were. I want Paul on list, just like the short list we brought up earlier.
Wayne in Ohio, Doug Erickson, Dr. Beluzzo, Marnie, Chris, you're all welcome. Enjoy.
No, you got a point, and it's like it makes my job even more difficult, like you said, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I'm confined, not confined, but like it's ESPN Blacksburg now.
Yep.
If you want to listen about, and I like it that way, honestly.
Yeah. No,
if you want to, I think we all.
Marnie says I saw Paul Ball.
Hey.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you're part of an elite group of about 4 million people.
I'm honestly surprised he didn't say Ball Van Wagner. I really would have expected that from him.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But yeah, it's like ESPN Blacksburg. It's not ESPN New York, not ESPN Richmond, not DC. Like it's Blacksburg.
Yep.
So I think in a way we'd rather talk about like Virginia Tech tennis than Dylan Cruz getting called up to DC. Yeah. So it's like I'm okay with that because I think tennis deserves a spotlight. Track and field. I mean,
sure.
I think a lot of people don't understand. And this is a little side tangent on track and field. The track and field head coach produces Olympians, and they just got a recruit from Kenya. Oh yeah, they just sent some to the Olympics most recently. I mean, the guy that Cole Hockner, who just won the 1500 meter, trained under I think he just retired. The former track and field coach of Virginia Tech.
Cianelli, I believe, was his name.
Yeah,
I can never pronounce his name right, but I know his first name is Dave.
But it's either way. It's like they deserve so much more support, and it's like if I'm able to funnel into that, that's great. But it's like right now, especially, it's just only football. And I can't imagine what the summer's going to look like because all the shows, I mean, that's when I'll be able to talk baseball, right? And, I mean, heck, like I'm a big Capitals fan. I got to talk about the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs first. They're great. Right. They just won the championship last season, but it's like we're much more funneled down towards Blacksburg. So I'm very interested to see, how that goes. But I mean, the good news about that, though, is that now on Fridays, I mean, tomorrow, starting tomorrow, we're going to have Matt Case of the Roanoke Times, which for those of you that don't know, he covers high school sports for the Roanoke Times. So that's like a nice thing is that he's able to come on and talk Blacksburg high school football and Christiansburg high school football. So, but Paul, in terms of like prepping, like this week has just been so crazy in terms of meetings and like getting stuff situated. Like, I mean, I have a whiteboard to my back right that has, I think, like 15, 20 different bullet points on it of stuff to do. And I keep adding more stuff to that because I'm like, I just got to get settled. But it's like, and so like for that reason, I've been going in like so much later than I want to. But that was one of the biggest words of wisdom. You always said like prepare every single segment as if though your callers aren't going to come in. And now that I'm in the hosting seat, like I fully understand why we did sports trivia. That was just to kill a segment. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, okay, how much of men's soccer and women's soccer can I talk about? Especially like, Taylor's kind of new at this. Like he's not like, it's like, okay, we're going to talk about this. He's not as in depth. Fortunately, we will have a men's soccer and women's soccer like segment, but it's like, now that we're more funneled in and the walls are a little bit closer is what we can talk about. It certainly makes it a challenge, but in a way, challenging myself in that aspect is making it better. Yeah, because
it'll also get easier.
It forces me to learn.
I can tell you from a listener perspective, like one great thing about the drive was like the relationships that got built, the running gags, everything else. You'll develop that over time and you'll get a sense. And so you'll have material to fall back on, which Paul did relentlessly because I'd have to hear about fucking Nickelback every single day. So he would load down episodes with at least 10 to 15 minutes of talking about Nickelback just to annoy me. So you'll have plenty of filler you got. But yeah, that's the big thing is remember, it's the drive. It's ESPN Blacksburg, the drive. And you can talk about local stuff and you can get into that and you can dive down deep with that. And that's one thing that I've always loved about the show. And that's actually brings me to my next subject. Football season is here.
Hold on.
And I want a Blacksburg vibe check.
Stop it. I want to ask you, how come we're not, I thought our segue here was going to be, we were going to do our top 5 Nickelback songs.
Oh, God, I hate you. I hate you so much.
At number 5, I'll get it started.
Do you really have a top 5 list of Nickelback songs?
Oh, God, yeah. How you remind me. Number 5. Absolutely.
Well, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
That's like their only good song. How could it not be number 1?
Number 4, I love Burn It to the Ground. That is from their 2008 Dark Horse album, Burn It to the Ground.
Oh, yes. I bet you do.
Number 3, rock.
Did you
stars.
just Google this list?
No.
He has
You just Googled a
ChatGPT.
list.
He just looked up on ChatGPT. What are the top 5 Nickelback songs?
No,
but
no.
before
I
we
saw
get
him
to
rubbing
this,
on his phone.
I do have a list of Nickelback songs here because I don't want to miss any because they have some really, really good stuff here.
I know some bullshit's about to happen whenever he's rubbing on his phone. He's not talking to anybody. He's just looking at some bullshit.
Number 2 is Far Away. And number 1, I don't think anyone can argue this, arguably the greatest piece of musical art ever written is Photograph. 100%.
I would agree. And wait, one thing I'll say before we move on is I have yet to hear from Wayne in Ohio. He's not texting in.
He's right here.
He's here.
Oh, he's not
Wayne in
texted
Ohio. He is not. No, he hasn't texted the Main Street Pharmacy text line, or rather, this just the text line now. Maybe that'll change.
Yeah.
But Wayne in Ohio.
Hopefully, it'll change whenever I can make money again. Nels. Pharmacies are in bad positions right now. It's hard.
Well, either way, I mean, PGA caddy Joe Woodward has texted in. There's a few other people.
Regular. Yep.
Joe texted in. Like Chris in Fredericksburg, Frank in Virginia Beach. I mean, Frank in Virginia Beach. He's got a life busy over in Chesapeake and Virginia Beach area. He's texting him. I haven't heard a word from Wayne in Ohio, and I feel offended. I'm not gonna lie, Wayne. I'm sorry.
Wayne.
How did you all get the chopper back? I left that somewhere no one was gonna find it.
It's all electric now. We got an upgrade.
That makes more sense.
Now that we're the flagship station, we're able to make it all electric, and it even has AC now, which is pretty nice. But
you would not want to touch those controls after I was done.
No. The things that had been violated by those controls, it was terrible. It was terrible. Congratulations to Zach at Counts Family Pharmacy in Blacksburg. What a great name change for the. Why do you look like that right now?
Okay.
Zach's a good-looking man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, my brother's a good-looking guy, unlike poor old Jeremy. Poor old beaten old Jeremy.
No, in all seriousness, though.
But yeah, we did change our name to Counts Family Pharmacy because I was sick to death of everyone being like, "Oh, which pharmacy on Main Street?" Yes, thank you. This has been happening for years. Never name your business after a street because there are other businesses that do what you do on that street, and it causes confusion. We finally just pulled the trigger and changed that name.
I'm tired
of it.
What I would do, the logo is good.
Thank you.
I will say when I did sticker like sponsors for the Suns, I'd say, we tag it and say, that's all my friends. I would text it and I texted in our fraternity group chats. I texted at the sorority group chats. Like I just spread the word as much because I know you want to get rid of them. Yeah. Or now they're through Benny's or something. But either way, I was like, come down to Main Street Pharmacy. And people would text me personally and be like, where's Main Street Pharmacy?
Exactly.
You're an idiot. I was like, look on Google Maps. Go to Google or Apple Maps if you're beta. Go on there and type in Main Street Pharmacy and go. Like, it's not like people are like, oh, I'm on Main Street. Where's the pharmacy? It's like, no, dude, like it's a business, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, common sense.
Yeah. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal because there are other pharmacies with a similar name where it's like, oh, yeah. No, it was a full on So for anyone out there who wants to start a business, don't name it after a fucking street. God. And then when I do something good, other pharmacies will get fucking credit for it. But also it probably spread a lot of blame too on top of that. So, that probably balanced out pretty good.
Chris, that's a good
I'm not
point.
known for my level takes on, social media.
Chris brings up a good point. At least it's not CVS Family Pharmacy.
Chris, come on. Come on. That's not even a good joke.
Let's make a list of our
It's just hurtful.
5 best national pharmacy.
No, we're going to Blacksburg vibe check is what we're doing. We're not going to irritate Jeremy.
Well, number one's got to be Walgreens.
I would.
Oh my God! Don't.
Yeah. Although I will say a close second has to be the Walmart pharmacy because that place is where dreams.
Oh, you're going to get Marnie worked up.
Why?
Even Walmart is losing money on pharmacy right now. No one's making money. It's bad. It's real bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's no bueno.
Yeah. It's a rough industry right now. But yeah, hey, Blacksburg fucking vibe check.
All right.
Let's do it.
I mean, what are you all getting? Because right now we're leading up into game week, and we've discussed this again, but it's game week now. Like, what are you hearing from everybody?
Nels, what are you hearing? Because you have your finger on the pulse, my dude.
Well, what do you mean? What am
You're
I
on
hearing?
your phone again.
Well, I'm looking for something that some jackass tweeted out. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What am I hearing?
As far as like the people you're talking to, and I'm not talking about like you talk to, coaches and everything else on it. I'm talking about regular folks that you talk to, like that I talk to. What are you hearing?
I mean, like in terms of the game or like Blacksburg itself?
Yes, in terms of the game. No, in terms of the game. This is the vibe check.
Oh, the vibe check is that Virginia Tech fans are going to get sloshed on Broadway. That's what I've been hearing.
Yes,
like
everyone's arriving.
Number one.
Wow.
Number one is that everyone's driving down right now, and I think the vibe is to black out tonight or go hard tonight. People who took off work tomorrow or working from home tomorrow are going to have their cameras off in the hotel room. Mm-hmm. Go to go out. Don't go as hard Friday because the game's at 11 a.m. Central to Saturday for their time, which people don't understand. Nashville is an hour behind. And because the game's at 11 a.m., I mean, there's going to be the Hokie fans going crazy on Friday night. But because it's an 11 a.m. game, then you go hard Saturday. So Thursday and Saturday are the go hog wild on Broadway. Friday is the take it easy, see a band because there's millions of them down there. And then Saturday after the game, especially after Tech wins, then you go hog wild and then you're cut loose. So that's what I've been hearing, especially from the students too. Now I'm sure there's going to be students going down there. And the other thing is that there's a lot more people going down there than I thought. We're doing a pregame show from 9 to 10 on ESPN Blacksburg, so I couldn't go, but I didn't want to go anyways because I personally didn't know anybody going. But oh my God, there's going to be, I predict 10 to 20,000 Virginia Tech fans. I think there's going to be at least 40-45% split of Tech fans. That's what I'm hearing because it's it's only a 5-hour drive away.
That's how Vandy games are. If you talk to SEC fans, it's a lot of visitors.
But even then, Blacksburg's only 5 hours away. Northern Virginia, you're flying to Nashville. That's not that long of a flight. This is a perfect location for everybody to come in, and then it's fucking Nashville. So
Jalen was flying in, and he said it was nothing but Hokies on the flight.
Jalen Merrick at Jalen Merrick's. He is a Vandy fan and a serial optimist. Tweeted out on what day was this? This was August 27th at 6:31 p.m. And he said, bookmark this tweet, which I'm doing right now. If Vandy loses this weekend, I will delete my account. That's how confident I am in my Vanderbilt Commodores. I am 100% serious. First response was, enjoy Threads, dipshit.
There's a few of those Vandy accounts, and I actually think it's really funny that they go over the top, and that's kind of their shtick, is they're far too confident in what Vanderbilt is. Because, I mean, I do that. It's fun. It's a fun kind of thing that you do. They're just, real annoying about it.
But the honest thing is, though, is what has Vanderbilt done ever? I mean, I know they have I think they have a national championship.
Evan Hughes has said, I'm going to delete my Twitter if the Jets don't win the Super Bowl this year.
Evan, that doesn't even count. You barely use your Twitter. Stop it. You've gone into this social media lockdown where
he's a busy man.
He is.
Yo, let me just say one thing though, Evan. If you had told me you were wearing a suit to the show in person, I would have at least worn a polo. That picture, you're there in the suit and the tie, you're looking all sharp, and I'm just there in my Dead and Company shirt, all wrinkled. I'm like, when I saw you walk in, I was like, damn. I was like, damn, he looks good. And then you were like, let's take a picture. I was like, oh no, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say it's going to go on my LinkedIn. I mean, maybe a picture or two to celebrate the week. But that, come on, man, you got to give me a heads up at least. I've been meaning to tell you that in person.
Nels, you're going to have to learn this. I mean, Paul and especially Andrew Alex himself, who lived in downtown Blacksburg constantly, when you walk around town, I mean, people are going to start doing this. You're going to be taking a lot of pictures. Paul, he would hardly ever come out into downtown because he'd get mugged so much.
You know what? It's funny. And I'll share this with Nels. I don't think Nels and I have talked about this since I left the show. It was amazing to me after how many people came out of the woodwork and were like, we miss you. We wish you were still doing this show. Like around, in late January and kind of into February, I would run into people and people like, Nels, I don't think you realize how many people walking around the Merriman Center on a daily basis are tuning into the program that you are hosting now.
Mm-hmm. That scares me. I'm not going to lie.
You don't get a lot of interaction from them, and it's weird. You don't get a lot of interaction from them until it's not there anymore, and that's when they kind of come out. And I was really like, I was kind of shocked, and I have had people tell me that you have no idea how many people in the Merriman Center listen to the show every day, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, like Evan Hughes and like 5 other people, because Evan's my friend, and like these 5 other people, are just kind of hanging out or whatever. No.
Yeah, Paul. I mean, I'd tell you that the people in the community, they'd come in and be like, "Oh, what are you and Paul doing?" And I'd be like,
"Yeah,
what?"
Yeah.
Like, it would confuse me sometimes.
Youngblood. Jason Youngblood's #1 fan actually texted into the text line and was like, am I really listening to the drive right now? Like, is this happening? I was like, yep, we're back. And I was like, just seeing that name pop up was just meant a lot. But it kind of like makes me do a double take, because there's a lot of like, I remember when I first started doing the ACC network stuff, I had to go in and submit tax forms to them, and just walking through Merriman and walking through the athletic department, there was names I never even heard of. There was offices I never even knew existed. And that actually came through my head, Paul, was I was like, these are the people who are making the decisions that are not public, that you don't know about, that are, balancing the books. And these are the people listening to the drive. And I was like, there's a chance if one of them recognizes or hears my name, they're like, that's the kid from the drive, the then kid for the co-host. And now I'm like, now you're a grown ass man. I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta watch my back. But no, it's like, the thing is I want.
Watch your back like they're gonna come at you? That's a guy from the drive.
Well, no, not that necessarily that, but it's like
what you say.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. But it's like students.
Now you're a man.
Students had no idea what we were doing. Like tech sideline, Sun's a little bit, because like they tap into the student side, but nobody knew who tech sideline. Nobody knew the key play. Nobody knew who Tim Thomas was unless he was walking around campus at night like a creep. And nobody knew.
Let me just say on that point, I'm really disappointed that you don't have Tim Thomas on, but I understand.
And nobody knew who ESPN Blacksburg was. So a lot of people, I will say this, just like I would tell people, I work for ESPN Blacksburg, and they go, you work for ESPN? Like with like that look in their eyes. They're like, I have no idea what you do, but like you're doing it. I'd be like, yeah, I work for ESPN. You know what? It talks like Sharpies. It's just easier. And now that I'm doing it, people are like, oh, you ever on a radio show? How does that work? I'm like, dude, I hit mic on and I go. It's very interesting now, like, because in a way, like it's like playing Pokemon Go in 2016. Remember when everyone was on their phone and like everyone was looking? And I'm like, I walk into Merriman or walk into the Counts Family Pharmacy the other day, and I'm like, that's my voice. It's interesting. Like, who out there is listening? I wish Blacksburg was a rated market, because like, who out there, who knows who I am?
I was able to, through a third party, get a hold of ratings numbers at one point. It was like for 1.5 year when I was there, and I was pleasantly surprised at how many people on a daily basis, and not for the entirety of the show, but people come in, they leave, they come back. The Jeremy Countses of the world that sit there from 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock and have it on and blaring in their store or their office or whatever it is. They're few and far between.
Angrily tweeting
and texting
you, telling you're a jackass.
Yeah, I hate you for talking about Nickelback.
Getting banned from my own text line constantly.
Yeah, that was maybe the best one. That took me a long time to figure out why I couldn't how to get you unbanned. But you know, I did see the numbers at one point, and I was like, wow, a lot of people listen to this show, and it kind of it gives you you take a moment and you kind of pause and you just go, holy shit, I'm having an effect on this many people's lives in the New River Valley on a daily basis.
How many people were listening? You said it was like in the thousands, right?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact number, but it was over 10,000 on a day-to-day basis.
Well, the biggest thing was that we started the Blackout Lane Stadium movement.
Mm-hmm.
That was us. Like, people had been asking for it, but on the show, I was like, I want a Blackout Lane Stadium. You know, I was like, Thursday nights, Boston College, that's a guaranteed night game. Make it a blackout. And when the effect games were released and like announced, I looked at the Instagram and Twitter like comments and replies. The most popular liked ones were like, let's Blackout Lane Stadium. Let's Blackout Lane. And I was like, holy shit, that's me. You know what I mean? Like, like that's because of the drive. And I looked back on the ESPN Blacksburg Twitter account. It had like 4,000 votes total. And I was like, the way that we just threw a stone and created a wave, a ripple from a wave, it blew my mind. And that to me was my first moment where I was like, holy shit, this show has a lot more influence. Because I mentally, whenever I go on anything, I'm like, it's only my parents and my friends and my siblings or my sister listening. That's it. And then like I look at that, something like that, you know, and I think it's the most like reply on like the White Effect, because a lot of people surprisingly don't like that one. Is literally Blackout Lane Stadium.
White Effect.
Well,
and I'm like,
Blackout's
oh
cool.
So
Blackout's cool. Why not? It's a Penn State thing. It just feels like you're copying everything.
And the other thing is, you take a bite of your hot dog and you spill ketchup down there. Now it's not a whiteout anymore; it's a white and red out. So at least for those of us that are slobs, it's a lot easier to do a blackout. I mean, that's for sure.
But the influence is crazy.
Where I really kind of got the effect that we really had an influence is when Frank Merritt actually got votes for town council.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. These people actually take this dumbass idea that Andrew, Nathan, and I came up with for no other reason than to piss Frank off, right? And then Frank kind of gets on board and he's like, yeah, maybe I will run. And then he finds out all the shit that goes into it. He's like, no, F that. And we're like, no, we're gonna just keep hammering on this. And sure enough, it wasn't a lot, but Frank Merritt got votes in the town council election. And we were like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well.
Yeah.
We can influence local politics if we need to. We didn't, but yeah.
That's how Jay's going to become mayor.
Yeah, that is true.
Jay,
Chris, you're right.
He's going to do it.
King of dumbass ideas. I'll tell you and this is no offense to Nels or Trey or any of my other co-hosts.
None taken.
But
Chris Arnold says Wake Forest 17, NC A&T 10 at halftime. By the way, I did bring up the fact that we were broadcasting and doing a full live cast during college football on this night, but we still had to do it on this night.
Chris, what's the NC State score? Because I know Colorado and North Dakota is 14-10.
Oh, I could probably look that up on here.
Yeah. Paul, continue with
Chris
your story.
watching,
I just
man.
wanted to give everyone a live update.
So the most fun that I had doing the show, and this is going to sound really crazy, but it was from March until August of 2020 when we were in full swing COVID. And it was stressful because we were doing a 3-hour show at that point. We were on from 3 to 6. People may not remember that.
That was my favorite time.
It was a lot of fun. But we were trying to do a 3-hour sports talk show with no sports.
Yeah.
None. And we just came up with the most asinine bullshit to talk about for 3 hours. And the community got so involved in the show at that point that it was just like, damn, okay. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where you don't realize it until you realize it. And then you're just kind of like, ooh, I need to take a breath because this is something else. So,
yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, it was rough for like me and healthcare workers and everything else during that. And I mean, that particular phase really helped like get me through in a lot of ways because it was like, levity to the day because it's not, we were sealed off for a lot of it. It was, even though I was out taking care of people, it was still pretty isolating and it was just a stressful environment.
Yeah.
You all really helped get me through that. And it's why I don't fully hate you.
Yeah. Doug says Mount Rushmore. Evan says randomly calling Norm Wood to talk about like his favorite jelly. Norm Wood dropped an F-bomb on me on the air. Norm is the second person in my career.
I've like every time I click start delay, I think of that story of Norm Wood. And I also think about when he randomly called in when the sun was setting on the show back in December. Yep. I remember I picked up the phone and I go, hello. And he goes, hey, it's been a while since I called in. This is Norm Wood speaking. And I almost dropped the phone. Yeah. It felt like Zeus was calling in from Mount Olympus. And I remember tapping the window and I was like, it's Norm Wood. And I don't remember who was it. I think Evan. Evan, I think you were sitting there.
Yeah.
And I remember Evan, Evan was sitting in studio and all of us went, like literally just sat there like, what? And Paul, you were like, put him through.
Put him through.
Yeah. But every time I start the delay, I'm like, oh boy.
So if you guys will just indulge me for a minute, 25 years I was on radio and I had 2 incidents where somebody dropped an F-bomb on me on the air. The second one was Norm Wood. The first one, I was doing junior A hockey in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan and Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, right across the border from each other, were a huge rivalry. And we were in the middle of the first period, and our team captain, his last name was Herbert. I can't remember his first name. I know it wasn't Justin, but I can't remember his first name. He got into a fight with one of the kids from the Sault, Ontario teams. And Herbie was like 5'4", 5'5" maybe, and this kid was like 6 feet, and Herbie just tuned him up. Like he tuned him like a fiddle.
This is getting really Great Lakesy, but continue.
Yes, and so
we'll stop Sally, boys.
So I went down to the locker room between the first and the second period, and I said to him, Herbie, you got kicked out of the game. Get a shower, come up. You're doing color with me for the second period. And he was like, all right, that sounds great. They dropped the puck on the second period of play. The team from Sault, Ontario skates down into the Sault, Michigan zone, shoots, and scores. And Herbie goes, fuck. And I turned and looked at him, and he turned and looked at me, and he took his headset off, and he set it down. And he just walked out of the press box. And I said, folks, I apologize for that, but that's live local radio for you. And we just went right back into the flow of the game. Nobody said anything, nothing like that. The second time happened many, many years later when we called Norm Wood, and he was mad about something, but he was driving between 81 and back home to Newport News. He was on 64, and he answers the phone, and he starts on this rant about, I don't know why. I don't. You guys,
Paul, I think it was because you or Andrew Nathan kept calling him like back to back.
That might have been.
He was on the way you told me he was on the phone with somebody, and he put the phone down, and then he called back, and you just punched him straight through.
Through. Yeah, and then he goes on this rant. He's like, I don't. What? Why are you guys? You keep calling me. What the fuck do you want? And Andrew's sitting across from me. Nathan's in the other studio, and both of their eyes go boom. I just went, hey, Norm, you're on the air. Oh, man, I'm sorry. He thought he probably was talking to Nathan, and he was just being funny. Norm must have sent me, if I say 10, I'm undershooting it. Over the course of the next month, at least 10 text messages apologizing for that. And I'm like, dude, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Nobody's listening. And he was like, no, trust me, people are listening. People are listening. And I kind of got a kick out of that. But twice in 25 years. So Nels, my goal for you is to beat my record. Either way. Get 0 or 1 or get the 3. Either way.
I pray I never have to hit dump delay. I pray I never have to hit dump profanity or whatever the button is. That, like, because I've never done it. You know, it's like, I don't know how that works. Do I have to hold it? Do I have to touch it? Like, do I have to just beep?
You hit dump. It dumps the last 4 seconds of the conversation, and then you just. So the way you're supposed to do it, I'm giving lessons here right now, folks, and I apologize for those that aren't in the industry. The actual technical way you're supposed to do it is you pot the person down, hit dump, and have your producer hang up on them. Now, when Evan Hughes drops an F-bomb on you, which you know is going to happen.
Yeah, Evan, he is foul-mouthed. Like, I had to kick him out one time. Like,
I spent an entire segment one day
very mean to the elderly, by the way, Evan Hughes.
I tried to get Evan to say damn for an entire segment one day, and he wouldn't do it. So.
Evan, I will not do that to you. I promise. I promise.
I can't believe I got through that many segments without ever actually, like, cursing. Including when we would do pregame shows, and I'd be, like, shit-faced at Hokie House.
Yes, you did well.
I managed to do that, and I'm very proud of myself for that accomplishment.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I'd toe the line with some stuff, especially with the Tim Thomas erotic fiction. Shout out Tim Thomas.
I don't even know. So Nels, tell the people, where are you going to get lunch tomorrow? The people want to know. Somebody's going to show up and buy you lunch.
I mean, I was going to make myself a nice chicken. I don't know. I wasn't going to go in for lunch.
Are you still on that health kick that you were on when we were doing the show together where you would eat, like, healthy shit?
Yeah, because I gained like 40 pounds. So
that happens. Just you got to support the community by eating out at lunch as much as possible. I wish I could do that. I can't leave the pharmacy. I'm stuck there. I would love to go down and get some fucking wings.
Well, no, I was like 230 or so, 235 in January. And then the last semester of college, I was like, fuck it. I'm going out every night. Like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm not going to step on the scale. And I look and I come home and it reads like 260, 255. And I just stepped off and I was just like, good Lord. You know what I mean? I was like, this.
Nels, you're also 6'11". So,
yeah, that's true.
Like, you could lose 40 pounds and that's like an inch off your waistline.
But the thing is,
you've got a lot of surface area, sir.
That's the thing, is that like all of it just goes in my gut. So it's like, it's noticeable through the shirt, you know? So it's like, if you're the taller you get, the more it goes to your gut. So I was like, you know what? Like, I've done it once before. I can do it again. So yes, I'm in a caloric deficit. I mean, hell, that's the reason why I'm drinking Coke Zero instead of regular Coke for the Grey Goose. And that's why I mainly drink tequila. But you know, when you're gifted a bottle of Grey Goose, you don't turn that down.
Also, shout out to Evan Hughes, who recently lost a whole shit ton of weight.
I was going to say, dude, Evan, you look incredible, man. Like, and that's the thing.
Before, but now he's bringing sexy back.
And, you know, when he wore that suit on Wednesday, he did it for a headshot. And I can't wait for everyone to see the work that he's put in because, you know, it's like people don't understand the work that you do. It's like one day people just see you like that and you're like, oh, you look great. But they don't understand the months of work and the nights where you're like, I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to chew gum. I'm going to drink water. It takes a lot. So, Evan, I'm very proud of you. And I'll cheers to that. You look great, brother.
Yep.
You look great.
Yep, absolutely. For sure. Cheers.
Y'all, it's really not hard to lose weight. You just need good old-fashioned amphetamines.
That's exactly what I don't need.
I don't know what everyone goes on about.
You know, I
hard to lose weight.
I may be tall, but I ain't speedy. I ain't a speedy guy.
Yeah, no, that's the last thing I need. I struggle enough as it is to sleep. The last thing I need is anything that's going to keep me going more. That's for sure.
Well, y'all, I guess we should maybe talk about this football game.
Oh, is there a football game this week? Go Blue.
Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah. Michigan plays Fresno State. Kickoff at 7:30. Not sure how that happened. All right, that's all I've got.
Yeah, I pretty much had like our segments lined up. This was going to be like our second one after being like, we got the drive back. And you know what? I think this is a lot better off because I like doing these things and I like highlighting the work that you're doing, Nels. And I'm very proud of you and I'm proud of what you're putting together. And I will be a sponsor again one day when I'm not poor.
I will say this, and I mean this with all due respect. The fact that you came back actually shocks me.
Really?
Yeah, I got the feeling from conversations that we had off the air that, like, you love Virginia Tech, you're a Hokie for life, but, like, that you kind of wanted to get out of Blacksburg and go do something else somewhere else. And when you came back, I was like, oh, see, it fucking sucks you in, man. Like,
yeah.
Well,
he fell in love. That's what happened.
Well, here's the funny part is that my last semester, I was like the last like few weeks, especially, I was like, you know, saying goodbye to Virginia Tech. I was like, I'm going to go to this restaurant I never gone to before. I'm going to, you know, order this drink at this bar I never done before. Cause I was like, hell, I can end up in Sherman, Texas. I can end up in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. I am going to go wherever I go. And then I spent a summer being unemployed and getting rejection letter after rejection letter after rejection letter. And I was like, well, you know, it looks like we're going to have to try it again and try it for minor league baseball in the summer. And then this came along and I was like, you know what? I'll take a victory lap. And I told you this, Paul, the other day. I was like, I know people at Tech. One of my best friends, he's in the vet school. He'll be here for 4 more years. Yep. It's not like I'm going back. And I have you guys too, obviously. But it's not like I'm going back and I'm just like, alone, you know, like my friends, they joke, they're like, dude, you're a townie now. No.
But it's like,
starts. When this was too good of a gig to pass up on.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like, Bill Roth put it this way. He's like, dude, you're like the quarterback coming back for another year. You know what I mean? It's like, you could go to the draft or you could do a 5th year. And that's what, like, that's what it feels to me. And now, like, the opportunities, like, it was too good of an offer to pass up, and it felt weird moving back to Blacksburg, especially now as a townie. And I've never lived this far down a main street in this side, but and you know, I'm not gonna lie, I went to Walmart 2 days ago, and I was like, darn, kids are taking the command strips. You know, I was like, come on, man, and I was like, come on. But I'm so glad to be back, and it feels so good to see everyone again. And the biggest fucking thing is, football is good now. Yeah. Like, I can go to these games and not football just be in the stands.
Might be good now. Let's get ahead of ourselves.
No, they're going to be good. They're going to be good
but,
this
like,
year.
I will never forget last season, opening game against ODU at home. I remember, like, I was doing the surrender cobra like this. Like, what are we doing? And we turned around and go 7-6. So now it's fun to talk about Virginia Tech football.
Yeah.
And everything I feel like at Tech is, like, on the upswing. You know, they say college gets better after you leave. War Memorial was finally completed, which took them 5 years, which I'm the class of 2024. I never stepped foot in there. Besides a tour in 2018, never stepped a foot in there. 2 new buildings, like a dining hall and a new classroom. Never, you know what I mean? So, but it just feels so good to be back. I mean, too good of an offer to pass up on. Paul, you told me you were like, maybe, you know, like, I don't know if like radio is like the good future right now. And then again, I was like, you know what? If I have the opportunity to return to ESPN Blacksburg, I would make a lot of people happy with the drive coming back. I'm fucking doing it. And I remember I was like, I'm in. It's the only offer I got. It was like that and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Because I was waiting to hear back on them. I got the rejection letter like a week ago in my inbox. And I was like, well, I got the drive. So it feels so good to be back. I mean, I'll cheers to that. It's incredible. It's an incredible feeling to be back. The drive is back. And again, it has not hit me yet.
The drive is back.
On Sunday, I mean, I have off on Labor Day, which is incredible, but maybe it'll hit me then. But it's like, I'm so glad to be back and just to be able to wear this polo. So cheers.
Nels, you're a townie now. Welcome. One of us. One of us.
No, literally, I was like, them damn kids are taking all the command strips and the targets cleared out in Christiansburg, man. I was
command strips.
Yeah. But on my Twitter, if y'all saw it, like literally, I was on the phone,
like hanging like hooks on the wall and stuff like that. Don't worry about it. Emily does all that stuff. Yeah.
I was on the phone with my mom at Walmart. I was on the phone and I was like, yeah, the last thing I got to get is command strips and a rice cooker. And I see the dude with the pallet of command strips, like the box they're in, all cleared out, go to the back. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to lose it. But I got some, so we're good. But yeah,
I
feels
just
good to
use
be back.
nails.
The drive is back.
Am I not supposed to nail things in walls?
I mean,
I've been doing it for years.
It's fine. Nels is renting. You bought, so you're okay.
Oh, okay. I don't know these things. I'm a simple, innocent Jeremy. I just exist.
That is true.
I just go about my life and I do whatever, and then people sometimes tell me whenever I fuck up or something.
Oh.
Nels, I can hear you pop.
Marnie says kids are hooked.
Look, I said this off air, but my girlfriend's flight out of Connecticut got canceled. She was supposed to come down this weekend, so she's texting me, and I'd rather type than be like Paul and be like,
hey, I'm doing show prep as we work here.
I know. I'm giving you shit. Nels is actually on the air right now while he's dealing with a full-blown crisis with his girlfriend potentially being stuck.
Yeah.
Why do you think that I got this much under the Grey Goose? Because I'm just like, dude, this week has been so hectic. I mean, like I said, I looked at my whiteboard. I have at least 10 things starred and at least 8 things just bulleted to do. And it's nuts. It's just absolutely nuts. But you know what?
I am curious because obviously we're not going to get to Virginia Tech football, so we're just going to keep going with this. Have you does your apartment look like a college kid's apartment, or does it look more like a grown-up apartment at this point?
Oh, he's still in college. I didn't have anything that was even close to adult until Emily took it all over. There's no way it actually looks like an adult apartment.
It's college. My roommate, he's a junior. He's a transfer from community college, and he didn't know he was coming until May. So I honestly swear to God, I don't know what the apartment complex is called because I'm down by South Main Street. Literally. I found this on Facebook Marketplace. I literally, it was so late, for instance, if y'all know what Fox Ridge is, Ridge is
how old do you think I am?
I'm just saying for the listeners out there, Fox Ridge is supposed to be no offense to Fox Ridge, the cheap ass apartment place. If you need an apartment, you don't want to pay more than $800 in rent, you'll go there. I had a roommate. He lives in Blacksburg. So he can live at home. That's his fallback. Mm-hmm. And we were looking for places, and he called Fox Ridge for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and it's $1,800 a person, $900 a month at Fox Ridge for a furnished. And I remember looking at him. I was like, dude, this is nuts. So I settled on this place for not a lot less than that, but it's near grad students. It's near families, but it's definitely got that college feel, which I like. Yeah. But now that I'm a townie, I'm not enrolled in any classes. My Hokie P is disabled. I can't even go in war unless I know the person running the desk, or I just slip past the little turnstile and got to jump a turnstile like it's the New York City subway. I'm a townie now, so I guess in a year or two I'll be living in a house or living 10 minutes away in Christiansburg. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely got that college feel, and I'm very glad that it feels like that. Because my friends are still here. The few that are left, they're still college kids, but they're having a game night right now, and I'm like, sorry guys, I got to go on a show. Fuck you, Jeremy. It's sorry guys, I got to go on a show, and I'll meet you later, or I just I got an Uber there, but whatever.
What I can't wait,
dude, you're gonna spend so much time with all of us at PK's.
Dude, that's the biggest thing is they're gonna be like, yo, go to Tots, and I'm like, I'm not paying the $2 for cover. $5 game day weekend, you can go to hell.
There was a while where I just paid the $50 fee to skip the line, and then I was like, fuck all this. I don't even want to see my friends that much. I'm going to fucking PKs.
Yeah. $20, brother. You got scammed. You got scammed. It's $20.
Oh, no, it used to be 50. It used to be 50 to skip it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I cannot wait for the day when Nels goes, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to buy a house in Shawsville. That's what I'm going to do. Fuck this shit. When that happens, I'm buying you a bottle of something nice. But I'm telling you, it'll happen.
Let's go hang out at Nels' Double Wide in Charlottesville.
Yeah,
it'll be awesome.
We're gonna go down to Shawsville. We're gonna go hike the Stiles Falls and then go party at Nels' backyard.
Oh man, no, it's when I first moved in, I was like, I pray to God, I pray there's no students. Because there's a person below me or whatever that is a little I can hear them talk at night sometimes. Yeah. And I was like, oh no. If there's a freshman or a sophomore that's woo, college, I would shoot myself because it's just I can't do that. I wake up, I got to do a job, I got to do stuff. And I'm like, I'm an old man now, but yeah, it's still a college feel.
Yeah. Marnie says he remembers going to Fox Ridge, doesn't remember leaving.
See, that's the thing is Fox Ridge is so big, you get lost.
Yeah.
Like I lived there my sophomore year, and I would go in there and like I had friends a 5-minute walk away, and I would walk through and I'd be like, the amount of people that go to this school or teach at this school that I'll never meet in my life, it blew my mind. I was like, this school is huge. And then honestly, like when I come back a little under the influence, I would just like walk and I'd look around and be like, like I said, these people I will never cross paths. Mm-hmm. The only thing that we have in common is we went to the same school, and it blew my mind. It was both an incredible feeling and kind of like a weightless feeling where I was like, these people have no idea who I am.
No,
I don't know who they are, and it's insane the amount of people in one concentrated area. But yeah, Fox Ridge was a time. It was certainly a time.
Fox Ridge. A metropolis.
I read a study that it was like Fox Ridge can hold, I think, like a third of, or hold everybody in Blacksburg together, and it would still be like 20% would still need housing. That place is huge.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's nuts.
Wow.
It's insane.
Yeah, Fox Ridge is large, and it's one of those places I would go to, especially back in the day before, joining my fun social clubs and such. Before I really had a lot of friends, we would go out and just walk around Fox Ridge, and you'd eventually just find somewhere to go party because there was always something going on. You just walked for a while. You wouldn't know where the hell you were, but you just keep going, and you'd eventually find something.
Now, Nels, the question that I have for you is, as the host of the pregame show, will you, after the pregame show, pull a Nathan Brennan and make your way down to Center Street?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, he's too old for that.
No. Okay. As a former student who like we ran the ASIC tailgate, seeing adults in like mid-20s, early 30s, like year olds on Center Street, it felt like how I feel right now as a high school graduate a few years ago, coming back to watch high school football games and trying to be like, hey guys, remember me?
Yeah.
And as a student, you're just standing there like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like nobody knows who you are. We don't care if you used to come here with your cousin Justin like 3 years ago. No one knows who you are. So unless you're like a parent of a student, or I don't know, you're one of those guys with like a camera and a microphone interviewing people. If you're not a college student on Center Street, you will stick out like a sore thumb, because a lot of them will just like walk through and they'll just be like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I will not, because it's one thing, like, yeah, I'm a year out. I know people still in ASIG, like that's one thing, but it's like that place. I mean,
that's why I don't go by the ASIG tailgate. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, they're having fun. Let them have their fucking fun.
Exactly.
As fun as I'd love to go and like chug off with them and show them that I'm still a fucking man and I can still out drink them. I'd love to do that, but it's better if I don't, because they're doing their own thing. And you got to let them do that.
Yeah, like the thing is, like that is a cesspool. Center Street is like its own little world. And you know what? I'll say this: it's a Blacksburg police officer's wet dream that there was only one like entryway by car. That's it. It's It's a 3-way stop too. You can only enter by car in one space. That's it.
I will share with you guys. So when I first moved here in 2016, my first football season was that fall. And I decided, because I got parking, but I lived on Sunset Boulevard, right? So I would usually just Uber to like the German club and then walk in, and then I would just walk home from the game afterwards. It was just easier to me. So one day I decided that I was going to just go ahead and drive from, at the time we were doing the pregame show at Tots. I was just going to drive from Tots to the stadium. Well, unbeknownst to me, you can't really get through that portion of town to the stadium. And for whatever reason, in my head, I was like, I'm just going to cut through here and end up on, like, what is it, Airport or whatever, and then just kind of come in the back way, right?
Yeah.
I really hope that camera doesn't zoom down, Paul.
I got stuck.
I gotta get you a stationary camera.
I got stuck in Center Street, driving my Jeep, and I had no idea how to get out. I was just like, "What the fuck?
It's its own little world.
Where am I?" And of course, like the students are like looking at me like, "What are you doing, old man?" You know, and I'm going, "What are you doing, you young punk?" Right? Like. So finally, I was able to turn the Jeep around and go back out the way I came, and then get back out onto Main Street and go around that way. But yeah, it was one of my first. In fact, I think that was the only time that I had ever been on Center Street on a game day.
And that's the thing is that, like I said, like it's a Blacksburg police officer and a riot and crowd control officer's wet dream.
Yeah,
because there's one way in, one way out. And now that they've cut off,
that was the entire plan. Like the entire plan was because it's easier on everyone. You don't want that spilling out to the family tailgates. It's keep everyone right here. Let everyone have their fun. We'll just try to keep everything safe, and that's the best we can do.
As few people driving as possible.
If you decide to live near Center Street or rent an apartment on Center Street and start complaining about it, shut the fuck up.
Okay, I actually had somebody reach out to me, like when I posted in the Facebook, like, you know, Virginia Tech housing group chat, and I was like, "Hey, looking for a place," and this person was like, "I'm looking to sublease a room on like 508 Harold Street, which is on Center Street," and I was like, "That looks familiar," and it was a block away from the ASIC house. I was like, "You're out of your fucking mind if you're asking me to go and rent out a place," because people, if you're living on Center, do it. Move their cars because you're going to have people stumbling into them. Unfortunately, I know that people break into them, but Center Street, like Chris, you're right. It is Hokie Mardi Gras, and it's good. Let the students have their fun. Put them all in one location. Put them all in one place. Make them walk this way. Okay, fuck you. Make them walk this one way. And you have crowd control. That's it. If you spill them, like they tried to do with the whole like ordinance and like cap, like for like max gathering or whatever, that's going to end up in your backyard. That's going to end up in your apartment complex, and it's going to become more of a problem. You just have to centralize the location, which I don't know why you would mess with that. And that's the beauty of it. It's like, Center Street's a cesspool. You got people puking to your left. You got people pissing to your right. But you know what? At least it's happening on one certain street versus Foxridge, the Retreat.
Yes.
You
know why the walkways were put there, right? It wasn't because
like a salamander, right?
No, the thing is the salamander thing was completely fabricated by people who did not give two fucks about the salamanders. They were looking for an excuse just to do that. And so they came up with the salamander excuse, and the walking paths and everything else, the response to it wasn't about the salamanders. It was actually a big fuck you to those people. We're going to continue doing this. So I will give Virginia Tech and the athletics department and everything a big shout out for the way they handled it, because instead of caving and giving into their demands, they actually put up fences and be like, "Oh no, we're going to continue to do this. I guess no one's getting in the woods anymore. Fuck you." So that's actually pretty cool. That was a lot of behind the scenes things that kind of went out. So I appreciate that. A lot of thought goes into it, and Virginia Tech as a university and everyone else, they want Center Street to be Center Street, and they want everyone to have their fun there. But it is Jay Tucker. The university actually paid $125,000 to put those fences
up,
because those fucking people complained and tried to raise a fit over the fucking salamanders that they didn't even care about. That wasn't an actual problem. They thought that they would raise hell and try to get Center Street dispersed because they were going to be a bunch of goddamn Karens. And Virginia Tech had to spend $125,000 to put up fences as a big fuck you to them to try to alleviate those concerns and not give them any wiggle room. So anyone who's complaining about that or complaining about Center Street, fuck you.
J.M. Tucker, by the way, the M stands for mayor.
We could have bought an offensive lineman for that.
Future Mayor J.M. Tucker joining us today by the chat. Love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's
Who's
the other
fan?
thing is like
Jay Tucker.
people were like, "Oh yeah, we don't want the speakers to be too loud." It's like, dude, it's 6 Saturdays of the year, and
I
and
know.
now it's 5 Saturdays, 1 Thursday. You know,
Yeah.
and that to me, it's like let the students have their fun.
Yeah.
Blacksburg is nothing without Virginia Tech. Hot take,
Exactly.
which apparently is a really hot take to some. Why do you think the governor and the state of Virginia pushed so hard for my class to be on campus freshman year when people were getting COVID left and right at the time?
Yep.
Like like that's the thing is that I don't understand why there is the anti-Virginia Tech sentiment by amongst a lot of people that live in this area when students are the ones coming to your businesses and supporting your businesses. And that should be, you should embrace that. I know that's not how it used to be 30 years ago, 40 years ago, but I don't understand why that just switched around. And I hope that the pendulum shifts the other way. But yeah, Center Street,
Nels,
it's a controlled cesspool.
Did you not see that commercial from Karen Carenson? Running, you've never heard that? Here, let me play it.
Oh no,
shall we?
Oh no.
Hello, I'm Karen Carenson, candidate for Blacksburg Town Council. There are lots of issues facing our town, and as someone who has lived here since the 90s, I know exactly how to approach these problems. Using nostalgia and scapegoating is a way to profiteer from them. You see, Blacksburg was a shithole in the 90s, but don't let facts get in the way of wildly inflating our real estate value. As a town council member, I will not only perpetuate this housing crisis, but also deflect blame to the very students that enrich us, yet we despise. We will accomplish this by holding up any and all housing developments, idealizing a time when no one wanted to live here, finding obscure species and claiming anything fun or loud as a threat to them. A marketing campaign that tricks retirees into living in student-dense areas. Tear gas to disperse Center Street gatherings over 50 people. Public floggings of anyone displaying Greek letters. With my plan, we'll be able to continue to inflate our home values and torture students while taking the moral high ground. Vote for me, Karen Carenson, and save the salamanders.
I hate that bitch.
Yeah. Hey,
that was one of the first recordings I tried months ago.
I will give Karen Carenson this. At least she's actually standing on a platform that she may or may not believe in.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give Karen Carenson that.
Yeah, Jeremy, check your text messages, please. So
why am I checking my text messages?
Because I told you to. All right. So Nels, let's talk. Maybe we need to get off the townie kick. I don't know. Maybe we don't. People seem to like this. Wait, hold on. Jay Tucker, Jeremy. No, Jeremy did not make that, Jay. That is an actual candidate running, and that's why we need you to run for mayor. We need you to take over the town of Blacksburg, Jay. Run it with an iron fist that is pro-student, pro-business, pro-local love, pro-dancing at Tots on Thursday night at 2 o'clock in the morning. Jay Tucker for town council, for mayor.
No.
And
Jay Tucker,
dude.
Yeah, and Nels Williams is telling the kids to get off his lawn. Old man yelling at the clouds, Nels Williams. I love it.
No,
He hasn't been out of school for like 4 months, and he's already like, get off my lawn.
No, look,
dude, you did a weird skip. Like you went straight into townie mode. You could have done like Billy Ray, where you got out and you did stuff, and you just decided to be homeless for 5 years. Like that seemed like fun. That's one thing I love giving Billy Ray shit over, where he hopped around everywhere. He didn't have an official home forever, so I just would always say, Bill, you're homeless.
Look, to me, here's the deal: is that I love this town. I love this university. I think this place in this area could be 10 times better if they just made the clearly obvious decision. But there is a loud minority and an empowered minority that does not want to go through with it. And as a student, it's frustrating because
the vortex swirls. Nels is in it. Welcome, Nels. Welcome. Welcome to young townieism.
I've said this before to my friends, and I've said this before to I think on the drive. The fact that there's a fucking Qdoba on the corner of Main Street is disgraceful. I like Qdoba. I got it all the time when I was a student. But the fact that there's not a bar, and I know it used to be Big Al's, it blows my mind.
Oh, you
why
mean Moe's, not Qdoba.
Moe's. Sorry.
Yeah.
Moe's. Why the fuck is there a Moe's in the corner of Main Street? Put a bar across from it. I understand. Like I said, Big Al's was still there. Like, I don't understand why the town is not more reluctant to add more bars, more restaurants, even a nightclub. Apparently, a nightclub is like calling the Salem witch trials. Call on the Salem witch trials because that's not.
I'm going to tell you one thing about nightclubs here in Virginia Tech.
Well,
they have been tried in Blacksburg.
I know.
It does not end up very great.
All I'm saying is add more spots. And I know Tina Merritt, she's flying around the New River Valley. She understands that there should be at least 2 to 3 more bars. You add more places.
There should be more bars. I'm okay with nightclubs. I'm going to tell you what happened. Things would get real bad because we'd have a lot of things where people would come down, especially from Roanoke, and it would get pretty bad.
Are you talking about the hookah lounge? That the thing that went down there, or no?
The hookah lounge is nothing compared to what happened at the nightclub type situations here as a whole. That's why I think it's fine, and I think we need more of that, and I don't think that should dissuade us. I think it's actually ridiculous that we don't do that. That's what has a lot of the townies on edge over it. It's because of that. And it's ridiculous, I agree, but that's kind of what happened. Was there was a lot of violence. There was quite a bit of things going on as far as like deals being made. It got the townies on edge, and I think it is ridiculous because college students need somewhere to go. It's just it's one of those things that it sets them on edge. And so the town is, of course, like, no, we can't have this, we can't have this, we can't have that. Because, that's what they do.
Unpopular
and they plant a tree in front of my fucking sign.
Unpopular farmer says Moe's versus Qdoba versus Chipotle. It's not even a debate. I have never eaten at Moe's. Never eaten at Moe's. Even in the restaurant where the food hasn't been cold. It comes out of their hot plates cold. So, and then Qdoba, I got to drive to I don't even know where. I don't even think there's a Qdoba anywhere near. Chipotle, 100%. I love Chipotle. Chipotle is my life. I eat there probably 3 times a week. I have a Chipotle here in Roanoke that's I don't know, quarter of a mile from my house. Oh, here we go.
Now, here's the deal. Chipotle has the best burrito bowls. If you want a bowl of something, go to Chipotle. If you want a good burrito, you go to Qdoba. If you want good chips and guac and salsa, you go to Moe's. Each of them, it's like the Triforce. All of them have one certain aspect that they master. You put it all together, and boom, you have the best place ever. But it's
Marnie,
if you wanted a certain thing,
Marnie, I will scrap with you in the parking lot at Count's Family Pharmacy on Tuesday if you want.
I actually added a tie rod painting back there.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, look where my thumb is.
Yeah. Marnie, you are so wrong. Moe's is god-awful. It's terrible. I wouldn't walk across. If you gave me free Moe's, I wouldn't walk across the street to get it. I would go up the block to Chipotle.
You wouldn't walk across the street anyway because you're a terrible person, Paul.
I would run across the street because I'm physically fit or something.
No.
Jay
you are, though.
There's a Qdoba in Blacksburg. There used to be one on campus. Is it still there now?
It's still in Turner, yeah.
Okay. Yep. So there you go.
Yes, Chris Arnold. Get rid of the tree in front of my sign at the pharmacy. But it's fine.
I have offered 20 times to cut that thing down. You never take me up
I
on the
actually
offer.
took my lit side down. I took the thing off of it. It's just a blank one right now. I took it down because the town are being a bunch of fucking dicks about everything. So now they're just going to have this ugly ass thing right there instead of my fucking signage that they planted a tree in front of.
Jay Tucker
I'm going to be petty.
Hold on, I'll be back. I have to take this phone call real quickly. I'll be back.
Oh, his girlfriend's stuck in some airport. All right.
Yeah,
we should probably call it. We're having fun, though.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. Jay Tucker and
Nels is in a situation.
I got to take this.
All right, take that. Jay Tucker and I could easily pull that tree down in 4 seconds. It would just be laying in the street. Nobody would even know. Michael Schmolis would come along and scoop it up and turn it into somebody's coffee table or something like that. Like, all you have to do, Jeremy, is say the word, and
I can't say the word, then it'll come back on me. No,
Well,
there's like weird arbor laws and shit. You can't just kill trees.
I mean,
Like, they protect trees more than they protect dogs. Like, people can straight up like murder dogs if they think that they're threatened. But if you go around and you kill a tree because it's in front of your sign, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
Well, the Alabama fans took care of that tumors tree in Auburn.
And he went to jail.
Well, I mean, it's a small price to pay to make Counts Family Pharmacy more successful.
That's true. I would like my sinus back, but it's fine. I figured it out. I'm getting around it. And I'm going to be petty.
Is it fine, Jeremy?
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to be petty about it. That's even
all right.
better.
Nels is gone. Let's talk Hokie football.
Yeah, Nels is gone. All right. Hokie football, y'all. All right, let's see here.
We'll go for about 10 more minutes. That'll be an hour and a half. We'll go for about 10
Oh,
minutes.
wait. Nels is back. No
all
Hokie
right.
football for anybody.
Get back. Get Nels
All
yelling
right.
at the
But
clouds.
football season is here. What is your all's prediction for this Vanderbilt game?
Oh, the Hokies are going to win by at least 3 touchdowns. I really, truly believe that.
In my situation, girlfriend was supposed to be coming in to Roanoke about 2 hours from now. Flight got delayed, then canceled out of Hartford, Connecticut. But now she's taking the red eye at like 6 in the morning tomorrow. We'll be here at 9:30, so she's coming in this weekend for Labor Day. We're fine.
So not
what's up?
9:45, a little.
Paul, come on.
What? What?
Listen, man, I'm
He's
a child.
dirty old man.
I wear the
Calm down,
Virgin
Peepaw.
Mother of Mary on my neck. All right.
Boom, boom, boom.
We will not be
Did you
doing
pull
that.
out
I
a
will study-
chastity ring? Did you pull out a promise
boom,
ring?
boom, boom.
What were they called? Purity rings.
Chastity
Did you
belts,
just pull
right?
out a purity ring, Nels?
No, I wear the
No.
Virgin Mother of Mary on my neck. We have Bible study tomorrow morning at 10:30 when she gets back to my apartment. Okay, we're reading about the book of Genesis in the Old Testament this time, which is the creation of life. And we're gonna
Somewhere
have
right now, Tim
great
Thomas.
time.
Really
is going,
gotta-
something good is happening.
If
I
you're
don't
going to
know
pick
what
a
it
book
is.
of the Bible, you pick Genesis? What lesson are you going to get from that?
Well, no, it's okay. Last thing before we move on to football, I always joke with my friends. You know how it's like girls and like guys will have Bible quotes in their bio?
Yeah.
It's like, or like their bios on social media. It's like, imagine you pull like a bio or a quote from the Old Testament about God like smiting people, or like the book of Genesis in the Old Testament. And like most people would have no idea what it is, but as a confirmed Catholic and as a baptized Catholic, like you read that and you look at that and you're like, wait a minute, that's when God like killed people. But to others, they're like, oh, he's a Catholic person. That's like, if I ever reach that point, like I would do that, you know, as a joke.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
Emily's
go.
family's Catholic, and it's actually, well, I was raised Baptist, and yeah, it's actually pretty amazing the stark differences in, I don't know, a few things as far as where you learn out of the Bible. But
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Marnie, my favorite member of Genesis is Mike Rutherford. Highly underrated. Mike and the Mechanics was arguably one of the best groups from the 80s. Nels has no idea what we're talking about right now again.
I know who Phil Collins is. All right.
Okay, do you
Easy
know
Lover.
You know Mike and the Mechanics.
You know
No, but
Easy
I know
Lover
Easy
because
Lover.
of Easy Lover because of Ted Lasso.
No. I know Easy Lover because I love the song. And I love Genesis. I was literally listening to Misunderstanding earlier today, writing an email. Paul, you know which one. And I love Phil Collins. I used to do drums growing up. I am a drummer. I know how to play drums, guitar, and piano. And so one
I
of the
actually
first
started
artists I
off
learned
with music on drums. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate
I
you as a musician.
I listened to Phil Collins because he is an incredible drummer, and Easy Lover has one of the greatest guitar and just drum fills. You know exactly the one that I'm talking about. So
yeah.
I love Phil
Yes.
Collins. I know who that is. But what's up?
Marnie.
I'm just really having
Gabriel
fun
is
with
the
you
worst.
sitting around talking about. It reminds me of that South Park episode where they all got on Ritalin and they all got obsessed with Phil Collins because they were loaded up on Ritalin. And she was just like, Phil Collins, we got to save these kids. They're all going to Phil Collins concert. They're like, yay, Phil Collins.
Marnie is right.
Phil Collins.
Hey, Marnie's right.
Peter Gabriel is the far better person.
The worst. You know who else? You know who else is terrible? Tom Petty.
No, you don't like Tom Petty?
Tom Petty, he's got like 4 good songs, maybe 3. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, hot take.
No.
Not a big Tom Petty fan. R.I.P. Tom Petty. Not a big fan. Never have owned a Tom Petty CD.
I like
Listen,
Tom
in my
Petty.
life.
You got to understand, like Tom Petty, what he did, especially for his time and how he did things. I mean, he had a unique sound during a time where, like, during that music, there was a lot of fucking bland, generic bullshit that just kind of blended together.
Bland and generic.
He wasn't that blanded generic. He had a unique voice. If you hear something, you know it's Tom Petty. What, because he was more bluesy? No, that's bullshit.
Falling.
Look, you can admit that a lot of Tom Petty's popular
Really
stuff is pop rock, but if you go into Tom Petty's discography, you'll find a lot more of, like you said, Jeremy, a lot of the blues and a lot of the blues rock. Obviously, you make pop rock songs, you cater your audience to hundreds of millions of people. You make blues rocks, it's still tens of millions of people, but people still like it. And I mean, look, Tom Petty's amazing. I get it. There's a lot of like popular songs, but like Last Night with Mary Jane is one of my favorite songs. It's so much fun. But no, Phil Collins, Strangers Like Me, the Tarzan soundtrack, that was a discovery as a kid. I was like, wait, that Phil Collins? No way.
No, Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel is one of my favorite songs, and it fucking destroys anything Phil Collins ever thought existed. Are you serious, Paul?
Yeah.
You can't have a real discussion with Paul. You can't have a real discussion with Paul, especially about music. He is a Neanderthal in music.
I'm not a fan. I mean, it's okay. Like, I respect you for liking it. I'm cool with that, but I am absolutely 100% not a fan. I don't like Tom Petty. I like
You don't like Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel?
No, don't like Salisbury Hill. Don't like Peter Gabriel. No. Mm-mm.
Get him out. Get him out.
No, he's just doing this. He's doing this to get a rise out of me because this is what he does.
I swear to God, I'm not. So here's the thing. Okay, so let me give you again. I am by far the oldest person in this trifecta here.
I bring down the average and the median age, though. I'll say that.
That's fair. I grew up with 2 older brothers, right? So Van Halen, Europe, Journey, Motley Crue, Poison, like these are the things that I grew up on, right? 80s hair music was very prevalent in my household as a kid growing up. So that's what I always listened to. So if it doesn't have the CC DeVille rock guitar or the Motley Crue Tommy Lee drum track in it, I'm just kind of like, this is just blasé pop rock bullshit, and I don't like it.
It's hilarious hearing someone who's like sitting around like idolizing hair metal as calling things pop rock.
Yeah,
hair metal was the most fucking glam bullshit insane thing ever. Thank God grunge existed right afterwards. Otherwise, I would have had no fucking hope for fucking music ever again after hair metal.
You know what I say. I mean, Pearl Jam is a poor man's creed, and I love me some poor man's creed.
You fucking dick.
But I do like Nirvana, love Nirvana, Soundgarden, anything like that. I'm all about it. But I also don't like, which is strange because, again, I grew up in the 80s, right? Like I graduated high school in 1993. I hate 80s pop. Like Culture Club, anything like that, anything that's just over synthesized.
The new wave
shit, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I despise it. And it's not normal, like, because I shouldn't, because that's honestly what they played all the time on the damn radio in Alpena, Michigan, up here, by the way. But yeah, I didn't like it. Give me some Cinderella, give me some Motley Crue, give me the grunge scene after that, because you got to remember in 1991, 92, that's when the grunge scene hit. I was a sophomore, junior, senior in high school at that point, you know, and then we kind of roll into like the Kid Rock stuff. I love me some Kid Rock. The fact that he's from Michigan, also big hip hop fan, love Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop, you know, like I'm all over the place. I also like.
What about the Grateful Dead though?
They've got like a few of their popular songs that I really like. I can honestly tell you I've never owned a Dead album. I will listen to the popular stuff if it comes on. I won't skip over it, but I'm not a Deadhead. I'm not a Deadhead.
I'll send you a record or an album to listen to for sure then.
All right.
Because
Send me the Spotify link.
They're the best band in existence, if you ask me.
Chris Arnold, I love Oasis. Hold on, let me get through these. Marnie, fuck you. Chad Kroeger is a god. He took no inspiration at all from Peter Gabriel. Marnie, you and I are going to fight. I swear to God, I've never met you, but I'm going to meet you in the parking lot at Main Street Pharmacy, and we're going to tussle.
I'd actually like to see that one. He'd probably destroy you, but I'd like to see that one.
We have to set some ground rules so you can't hit me in the face because I'm too pretty.
Also, Farm D, yeah, you're just chatting on X, and most people here are on YouTube. So it matters which one you're on. Okay. Like most of them are on YouTube doing the chats.
Are we talking football now or what?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk football.
We've been on for an hour and a half. Do we have time? All right, that's it, everyone. Have a good one.
I mean, we can. It depends on if you all are good. I mean, Nels is his girl's stuck, so it's not like he's going to get interrupted tonight. I can go on for another half hour. Emily might stab me with a fork, but that's the risk.
So it's a normal Thursday at your house. Okay.
It's a normal Thursday. I'm probably going to be threatened with a fork.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So I'm going to actually dive into this a little bit. I pulled up the 2 deep here. I can never figure out where my camera is. I pulled up the 2 deep here for Virginia Tech. I absolutely love this offense. I don't even care that there are questions on the offensive line. I have no idea who Montavious Cunningham is, but apparently he's going to be the starting right guard. The rest of these guys are all back. I mean, you got Drones, you got Bashal, Tootin, you've got DeQuan Felton, you've got Ollie Jennings, you've got Jalen Lane. I like the way the offensive line looks. Nick Gallo coming in as a grad student at tight end.
Why is your leg up that high?
It's just listen.
What the fuck? You're actually not getting it. Like, I like what we're doing. I like what we've got here. It's just fucking leg over your damn head. Like, what is happening?
I'm sitting on the couch, so I'm just being comfortable. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I almost got another ball.
Is the ball gonna show up again?
You never know.
We're all still scarred. Fuck.
I love this offense. I love what they have going on. I love the fact that the coaching staff last year, after the Marshall game, kind of sat down and went, "Fuck are we doing? We're trying to put a round peg in a square hole. Like, let's actually utilize these guys' skill sets. Let's call plays that make them look good and us look good and get jackasses on ESPN Blacksburg off our ass." Right? I am super pumped. I will tell you this. I will be severe. And I say this every year during the first game, and I believe it every time I say it, but I really believe it like this time around. If this offense doesn't hang 41 on Vanderbilt, I will be shocked. I will literally be shocked because I think that they're that good. Not a slight on Vanderbilt. This isn't me taking a shot at the Commodores. This is just me saying this is a really fucking good offense.
Yeah.
And I don't see any reason for them not to hang 41 on Vanderbilt. That's it. That's my rant.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think the offense is going to be really good. I know we got some question marks, but the OL also could come out and just look like the OL we saw in the second half. A lot of people have a lot of question marks with it. I agree with that. We played a, pretty weak schedule there on the second half. Wasn't a lot of strong DLs, but we were still gelling, and that means a lot. So if they shape up and linebacker play, they come to play because our DL is going to be really good. I think our secondary is going to be really good. But linebackers, that's a big question mark right now as far as how that's going to be. If they step up and they really get into that role, I think we absolutely smash Vanderbilt into the dirt. I mean, really grind them under our heels. That could happen, but it's also college football. So we could have this great team with all this talent and everyone's clicking on every single cylinder. and it's still college football. And we could have some missteps, and it's early in the season. And early in the season, offenses don't click as well as they do later in the season. And if our offense isn't clicking early in the season, and our defense has a few question marks, still trying to figure some things out, and they run all over us or something, which they supposedly have a great quarterback. I don't think running is going to be as much of an issue. But if for some reason they get something going on offense, and we're still not quite clicking on our offensive side, that could present some problems. So
I don't think it's going to be an issue.
I don't think it's going to be an issue either. I think we fucking smash them. I think we drag our balls across their face. I think we're going to insult their mom while we do it, and I think we dance in their hot, sticky ashes. But I'm also a Hokie fan, and I've seen this game played so many times. So I'm going to say we win 69-0 conservatively.
Okay. I mean, here's the thing, though, right? Like, you don't have the Hokie oops in the first game of the year, usually. Usually that comes in game 4, 5, 3, somewhere there where it's like, oh, we're 2-0, we look really good, or we're 4-0, we look really good. And now we're playing against Boston College, and Matt Ryan runs train on you.
Now we're playing against Boston College. He says rubbing his leg.
Matt Ryan.
That's a lot of flesh, Paul.
Matt Ryan. Juicing you up over here. What do you think, Jared?
Oh, my. Check out these calves from all my running. Oh, my thigh has a twitch in it.
Oh,
he says.
look.
Ooh, I ran a 5K in 35 minutes. Ooh, look at me.
Ooh.
I'm trying to get another under 28, but I've stopped running, so now I need to start back up. Shout out to Chris Arnold, who motivates me every day, by the way.
Yeah.
No, look, I mean, you look at Vanderbilt, and I feel like Virginia Tech, Shelton Moss at the Key Play put out a great article. I mean, on Shelton.
He did. That was a really good one, Shelton.
The fact that, there's been 12 years in the wilderness, to me, the Hokie oops, like you said, Jeremy, there might be one, there could be two, but this feels like the team that can really shed that, I don't want to say stereotype, but shed that feeling, right? It's like Virginia Tech, I feel like you always get the feeling that some bullshit is about to happen, whether it's a fumble, interception, fourth and out, right? And we felt that with the 2022 team, especially the West Virginia game. Every time something would go in Tech's favor, the crowd and the fans, you just kind of felt like, all right, I'm not going to get too comfortable. Some shit's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to be the case on Saturday. This is a team that's returning almost, the most starters from last season and anybody in football or college football last season, right?
Yeah.
The only question marks I would say on this team is the offensive line and the linebackers. And even then, the offensive line is only going to get better. And Leif Ganem is slotted into the guard. I don't know about Montavious Cunningham, Paul, but this offensive line is going to be better. The linebackers, ultimately, I would say are the biggest question mark. But you have 4 returning wide receivers. You have Kyron Jones, who's been training with Cam Ward and Shadur Sanders. You have Bashal Tootin, who easily could have fucked off to the NFL and said, I'm taking the money there. I'm out. He's back. So he's only going to get better. You have Dorian Strong and Mansour Delane, who are some of the 2 best cornerbacks in the entire league. Yeah, you have some question marks at safety. Yeah, the linebacker's a little shaky. This defensive line might not even get anything past them to the point of the secondary. Right? Like this defensive line and Aeneas Peebles, Kamari Copeland, Josh Fuga, right? Like so many other good guys up front in the front 4 and front 3. This team is like, I don't want to say too good to fail, but this team,
please don't.
When you come into a team like Vanderbilt, like seriously, please don't. This team, when you come into a team like Vanderbilt, yes, there are the concerns in Diego Pavia and the fact that he's a mobile quarterback. This team, I think, understands the fact that, yes, they've been trying to block out the outside noise. They're going to be good this year. And the fan base has never been more riled up since 2015, 2016. This is the most hype around a Virginia Tech team since 2016, 2017, 2018, right?
I'd actually say it's more since 2011, kind of like Shelton pointed out, ever since Danny Cole caught that football and we won the Sugar Bowl. Ever since then,
Didn't happen.
it's been downhill. And we had that 26 season when it popped, and we thought we were back, and it didn't. And this is the first season that we've really had where we got preseason hype again. We've got attention on us again. It feels like we've really got something clicking. And the thing is we've also got actual buy-in, because Foo's first year, it was a little weird. That battle at Bristol when we had 5 damn fumbles, that was a weird game, because it felt like we dominated that game except for 5 fucking turnovers with the fumbles. And that was the weirdest thing, was it felt like if that didn't happen, we would have won that game, even though we got smashed in the end if you just look at the box score. That was a weird time for us. But now Pry came in and he inherited
trash.
This.
Shit.
And
Garbage.
it was
A
rough.
bare cupboard.
Yes,
Bare
and
nothing.
we're bouncing back. And having that feeling instead of like this continuous kind of like sloping kind of roller coaster downhill that we had since 2011, we've now got this bounce up. And this season, and I've brought it up before, this is a proof of concept season, and that's why it's so important. We have to prove it, and we have to prove that this is happening, this is real, and we are actually putting something together. And that's the thing, is if we put something together and this season goes really well, we also, after Drones, whether he comes back next year or not, we got to prove beyond it just being these great groups of people that we just had, because we've got this great wide receiving core. We should be able to bring in more quarterbacks behind it. We should be able to recruit better with all of our positions on offense, on defense, everything else, because of what we're doing. If we can have a really good season and then build on this season next year, that's when we will really know that we're building, because that's proof of concept. And that is showing that we're building on everything every single year. That's why I think this year is that important. If we come out and we have a mediocre year, that's going to be tough to bounce back from.
Well, the biggest thing for me is the fact that, if Tutin's going to the NFL, a lot of guys are going to the NFL. That's one thing. It's so important to have this early non-conference schedule. You play Marshall, ODU, Vanderbilt, right? Those should be games, in my opinion. The staff just runs up the scoreboard and sets the tone early and tells the team, listen, you guys can do this. Don't be surprised once it comes against Duke or Syracuse or Georgia Tech or Miami, right? You are capable of what you did against Marshall and Vanderbilt against ACC opponents, right? Like, I hope Virginia Tech smacks Vanderbilt 63-7. But I want the team to realize and understand, hey, listen, we can do this. We did it before. We can do it again. And we're going to do it against Duke. We're going to do it against UVA. Because if you are able to use real-world examples and be able to hype up the team like that, that's one thing. And then in the offseason, if Drones, Tutin, Jennings, Delane, Strong, they all go to the NFL, you can tell recruits and you can tell the younger players, hey, listen, all these guys from this team went to the NFL. If you come here, you have the talent, and you are recruited to play on this team, and you work hard enough, you will go to the next level. Yes. So that if Virginia Tech has a strong NFL draft and a strong spring in that aspect, recruits are going to be on notice. They'll be on notice because I believe this is a 9-3, even 10-2 team. But they'll be even more on notice seeing Kyron Drones, Virginia Tech, Bayshall Tutin, Virginia Tech, Ollie Jennings, Virginia Tech, all drafted by the commissioner and in front of the stage and to come out and wear the jersey, right? Because there hasn't been a class like that in too long. So it's a twofold and a two-piece, essentially, formula in that aspect. So I think this is a 9-3, 10-2 football team. If you go 9-4, it's a little bit of a disappointment, right? For how much talent you brought back, the development that Pry has had these guys, you have to go at least 9-3. 9-4, 8-4 regular season, that's one thing. 9-3, 10-2 is another. This is the year Virginia Tech's put back on the map. But 2025, you have to, with the development and the talent this team has and this program has, and who knows what the transfer portal will look like, because you bring back so many starters, their transfers, their graduates, their seniors, you got to fill that gap. You will have guys from high-level SEC, Big Ten, even ACC programs saying, oh my goodness, I can go to Virginia Tech and I can develop. Yeah, I'll come here. And then you have that formula for success. So this is the season that's put together, in my opinion.
Look at the schedule, right? Vanderbilt, Marshall, Old Dominion, Rutgers. That's 4 very winnable games. You should be 4-0 at the end of this. Then you got to go.
Rutgers is a lot better than people say they will be, and I think it's going to be a tougher game. But I think Tech will come out on top, especially how last year went. I think Tech beats Rutgers, but it's going to be a lot closer.
The way last year went, and the fact that it's in Lane Stadium, I think is going to be the 2 big factors. I think that's a.
I'm just saying, Rutgers is not as easy of an opponent that people think it'll be.
No, they're not.
Hang on, let me just rub my leg a little bit here while I talk some more.
Tell us more, Paul. He's just like, oh, he's got his pee-pop glasses on. He's rubbing on his phone, just like, let me tell you all something. Legs high.
Sugar Daddy Paul Van Wagner.
Yeah, that's right.
Sugar Daddy Paul Van Wagner.
Sorry, ladies,
Daddy Paul's going to drop some knowledge on you.
I'm taking. You got Miami in week 5, right? Like, that's your first real test, but it may not be. Because by week 5, Miami might be an absolute dumpster fire. Miami can go from here to here real freaking quick. So
usually it's the later half, but we have seen them fall apart in the first half before. It really, the question is, where do they fall apart and which team dismantles them? I really hope we're the team that dismantles them. If we can dismantle them, and I've said this before, if we're the team that knocks them off of their high horse this year, that'll feel really fucking good.
100%. Stanford's not great. Boston College has to come here. Georgia Tech. Syracuse. Then you play Clemson. Now, in theory, this could be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 10, maybe 9. You could be 9-0 going into a matchup against Clemson, who also could be 9-0. I mean, this could be your national game of the week on November 9th.
Clemson ain't going to be 9-0. I don't think Clemson's going to be good this year.
Well, we'll see.
Well, I think also you have to give respect to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech coming out like they did against Florida State. I mean, you like Bill Roth said earlier today on the drive. You play if Florida State plays Georgia Tech another 5 times, they may win every other 5 times, but that's going to be a good team. That is a good team.
You have
the advantage of playing at home, but Georgia Tech is going to be a good team.
Their offensive line, that's going to be a problem.
Well,
their running game, oh my goodness, they're going to be tough.
Yeah, but Virginia Tech got that front 4. They're going to be pretty solid. I mean, really, you have Clemson, you have Miami. Yes, there are some potential bumps in the road. You have to go to Stanford on October the 5th. Like, that's a long road trip, but you treat it like a business trip, right? We're not going out to California to have fun. We're going out there to whip ass and take names. Like, as long as they keep focused, my biggest concern, honestly, is November 2nd at Syracuse. When you go play in the Carrier Dome, that's no longer called the Carrier Dome, that's where dreams go to die. Like,
that's already chalked up as a loss in my mind.
Well, dreams go to die in Syracuse, New York,
too many times.
Dreams go to die in Syracuse anyways, so that's
but honestly, if we could get through our entire year and God damn, Paul, why are you doing this to us?
What are you running this link on?
That's it. I'm getting you a tripod and an actual camera. I'm not letting you do this through your fucking iPad or whatever you fucking do anymore. I'm going to actually get you a setup.
None of our cameras are zooming in on parts that nobody should be able to see under the age of 18. None of our cameras are zooming in on parts of our skin that people don't want to see unless we're in a close relationship.
Why did that happen to me?
Why are we seeing this?
I'm going to set up an OnlyFans. If you want to subscribe to it after the show, you can. Feet pics for everyone.
You know what? They make a lot of money over there. So if you do that, congratulations on retirement early.
That is true.
He just growled at us with his fucking foot. And the weird thing is, what is with this dynamic zoom that's going in and out? That's what makes it worse. It's like someone's sitting there just like, oh, check out that foot. That's the worst part. It's this is awful.
The iPad will try to focus my head in the middle of the camera. So if I move,
tell it to stop.
I don't want to see this, Paul.
It does its own thing, right? If I stick my foot up here like that, so you.
Okay.
See, I picture Bridget actually holding a camera up, being like, "Yeah, get them piggies in there, Paul."
Trust me.
What is happening?
God love her. Bridget wants nothing to do with this shit. I guarantee you that. Chris wants me to go back to Bridget's office. I'm sitting in our spare room because the couch is just more comfortable. You're probably right, Chris. I probably should go back to Bridget's office.
Well, that was fun.
And Nels, this
Tech
is why
football. Tech football 9-3, 7-2 this year. Book it.
I'm going to go.
9-3.
Hey, Paul, what were you going to say about me?
Well, two things. One, this is why I can't be part of the drive anymore, is because I don't take myself serious enough, and that's okay. That's all good. And two, 9-3 is the floor to me. I'm going to be honest with you.
Wow.
If this team isn't 10-2 or 11-1 at the end of the season, I can't believe I'm going to say this. This pains me. I may go hang myself after this.
Please don't.
I agree with Nathan Brennan. I really think that this team has to make the NCAA playoffs. With this schedule, with this, with what they have coming back, I think if you don't go 11-1, it's not a failure. But man alive, you got to beat Miami or Clemson. You don't have to beat both. You beat one or the other. I just, man, it's got to happen. My AirPods are dying. We might have to wrap this up, boys.
I understand your argument.
We
Paul.
ran for another hour longer than I was told we would, but it's
True.
fine.
That is true.
I said we would wrap it up at the hour, and then everyone just kept going, and we just kept going. And honestly, the second hour is when it gets better because everything starts hitting. And
That's
Paul
true.
starts bringing his piggies out for everyone to admire.
I mean, listen, I could take a shot right now in
Do
honor
it.
of Virginia Tech football season, but
Do it.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
here's
like
the
a
question.
champion. Honestly,
Now,
I'm
Nels,
upset you mixed it.
What's up, Paul?
Here's the question. Next Saturday, first home game of the year. Can Jeremy and I come on the pregame show with you live from Lane Stadium and just run that thing right into the fucking ground like the good old days?
Look,
Or do you want to get a couple of pregame shows in before you want to build a little cachet before you bring us on and
yes.
just let us
I
piss
would
all
much
over
rather-
everything you built.
I would much rather bring the people and the sponsors in first and then scare them away
Okay.
versus scare away
That's
everybody and bring nobody in later on.
That's
you
fair.
know?
That's fair. That's fair.
But the thing is, I can't stop y'all from showing up. I know that my boss, Chuck Marsh, will be grilling apparently. And he'll be there doing stuff and he'll be on the show. Nothing is stopping you from showing up. But if I put a headset on either one of you two and you start rambling like we are for the past an hour and 53 minutes, that's another thing, so
I
mean,
2 o'clock. We've proven that in the past.
no, and the difference between tonight and the pregame show is the clock is the motherfucking Virginia Tech Sports Network. It's not like it's like an arbitrary clock. It is Zach and Bill and Mike and everyone else at Playfly. Like if we go late on that,
I'll fight Zach.
I'm
Mackey
going to
in the
get reamed
parking
out.
lot.
Well, he's not in the parking lot anymore for the pregame show there. He's apparently in a nicer area of Lane Stadium, which don't ask me where it is because I don't know. I'm out in the boondocks in south end zone Lane Stadium. We got the grill going. He's up with the people putting together the show and making sure that the wheels run greasily.
Should I text Zach Mackey right now and ask him if he wants to fight me in the parking lot at south end zone of Lane Stadium?
Don't. Zach is a
home
small
game.
man. He's tall,
have
but
free will,
he's
so.
small.
You have free will, Paul. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but
I'll
just
call
tell
him.
me that I was uninvolved. Tell him when I'm not involved. But
You're not
cheers.
involved. Okay. Dear Zach, Nels wants you to know he had nothing to do with this. Want to fight me in the parking lot of the south end zone before the game again? I like
That's
it.
a letter
No,
from Jim
you gotta
Thomas,
say-
if I've ever heard one.
Nels told me you wanted to fight me.
Yeah. Nels says he talked to you this past week and you want to fight with me. I'll meet you in the parking lot, MFer.
Dear Zach Mackey, a letter for Zach Mackey. We're not going to have You know
For the
what? I will
for
say.
the record,
What's up?
I love Zach Mackey. I think Zach Mackey
No,
is
Zach's
such
great.
an awesome fucking
Oh
dude.
yeah,
Like, I love Zach. Oh, man.
he's
Okay,
awesome.
Zach and Evan Hughes in a cage match. Imagine. Like
Zach
the world has
annihilates
ended.
Evan.
The
Zach
world has
annihilates
ended.
Evan.
And we
Evan is-
have to do this.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't
Zach-
think
Zach
Evan
and I-
has the
Evan's a
heart to
lover.
do anything. I don't think
Evan
Evan
can't-
would even fight back.
No,
He's
he
just
wouldn't.
such an amazing person.
Yeah.
Not
there's
to say
no way.
that Zach isn't, but
No.
I
I'd
just
have to
can't
climb
see
over the
Evan,
cage
like-
and defend Evan. Yep. No.
yeah.
No, that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. Now, Matt McMurray versus Zach Mackey. Just saying. Just saying. All bets are off.
I could see Mac Murray like going ahead and just like getting on all fours and like jumping around.
Oh,
You
Matt
didn't know I
Murray's
knew the
playing
jujitsu.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Matt, he has so many facets.
uh-huh.
He really does.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. He also is the last person that towed Andrew Alex's vehicle, so God love him for that.
All right,
All right.
so Paul, you think Tech football is going to go 9-3-10-2? Jeremy, record
yeah.
prediction.
Okay. I'm full on just going to say we're going to drop 2 in the regular season. No matter what, we're going to lose 1 out of Clemson and Miami, and we're at least going to lose 1 more out of anything else that's out there. We're going to have a loss that's a head scratcher, and we may have another loss that's a toss-up.
Yeah.
But Jeremy himself is going to say that we're actually going to win the national championship this year.
Okay.
Because
Shut up.
I'm Jeremy, and that's what I do. And I will
Fair.
lay in that shtick forever. And I don't give a
Fair.
shit about my actual predictions and what I think. I am a homer, and I will forever be a homer for
That's fair.
Tech, and that's what I'll do.
That is fair. I do like the Hokies to make it to the college football playoffs. I really truly do. I'm not just blowing
I do
smoke.
like that.
I'm not pandering to the lowest common denominator. I really do believe that I think Virginia Tech, they may not win the ACC, but they potentially could be in that next tier of we're damn good and we belong here in that 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 area of the standings. I really do truly believe that. I think that they
I
can
could
do
see
that.
us getting to the championship, and it looks like we're about to get in the playoffs, but all of a sudden the rankings switch up because a lot of it's due to the rankings. And even though we were in the championship, because we lost the championship, we drop a little bit, and we are not one of the 2 that are in the playoffs.
Keep it
there's a
close
lot
in
of
that
things.
championship game, and I think they'll be okay. Nels, tell the people where they can find you. We need to know. Nobody knows where the radio station is. Tell them 175 Jackson Street Northeast, 3rd floor. Go upstairs, bang on the door that says "Do not enter," and just be like, "Nels, let me in. I want to be on the radio." They'll let you in.
Well, 175 ain't the right address. That's all I'm going to say.
Is it
But you
not?
can find me at Nels Williams on Twitter, at NELS Williams. I love being able to connect with the local community and local sport, and I'm glad that y'all agree with the Qdoba and Moe's takes. So at NELS Williams on Twitter,
It's true.
ESPNBlacksburg.com, ESPN Blacksburg app, 93.1, 97.1 FM. Go fuck yourself, Jeremy, 8, 10 a.m. You're able to listen anytime. Every weekday, 4 to 6, tune into The Drive. It's a lot different. It's a lot more buttoned up. However, I'm only wearing 1 button, so we're buttoned up.
Yeah.
And now we're the flagship station of Virginia Tech Sports, so that's an incredible opportunity to have. And yeah, ESPNBlacksburg.com, at NELS Williams on Twitter. And yeah, I can't wait for this year to happen and the season to go on.
Looking forward to everything that you're going to do there, carrying on the legacy. It's awesome. I'm so glad that you are sitting in the big chair. I'm very happy for you. And looking forward to I'm looking forward to actually listening to the show next week. So I'll start listening on Tuesday.
Tell me.
He's doing a really good job. I've been able to come in for the last few episodes. I couldn't on Monday. I'm usually able to get him 4 to 5, or not 4 to 5, but 5 to 6, because I'm in fucking meetings constantly. But he's been doing an excellent job. And one of my favorite things ever, I didn't know how much it would hit. Goddamn, Paul, with the fucking thigh. How much it would hit
Horny
me.
alert, horny alert, horny alert. Sorry.
When it really hit me was whenever I heard Tina in the chopper again.
Yeah.
Like that
Kudos
was just
for bringing that back, Nels. That's awesome.
yeah, that was amazing.
That is awesome.
I don't know why, but that was the
Homage.
part that it really just hit me was hearing Tina doing traffic in the chopper.
So, and I want to say real quick, for those that don't understand why I'm not listening in the first week, there's probably nothing worse as a new host of a show having the old host of the show be like, yo, man. Be like, yo, man, I listened the first week. That was some shit, right? So I will tell you this. I never listened to Andrew and Nathan when they filled in for me while I was on vacation, because I didn't want to ever put that kind of pressure, unnecessary pressure on them. Same thing for Nels. Like, I know you're going to do awesome. I will start listening next week as a fan, and that's going to be the whole thing. So kudos to you. I'll probably listen while I'm out on my 3-mile run every day, and just keep me entertained. That's all I ask, dude.
You know, I really appreciate that. And I've said this on air a few times, but when I genuinely went off the script of you did, where I was like, it's the drive on your local radio station.
Yeah.
We are, and then good. And every time I did that, especially on Monday, I was like, don't fucking say Paul Van Wagener. Don't fucking say Paul. My name is Paul Van Wagener. I was like, my name is Nels Williams. And if I said my name is Paul Van Wagener, I would have just hit commercial break. You know what I mean? I would have sent it on iMedia to commercial. I was like, that is the most embarrassing shit if you say the former coach.
That would be embarrassing. Everyone would be
name.
like, that's actually hilarious he did that.
Yeah.
You could have easily played that off. That's one thing you also need to learn is just play shit off.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. No, and it's like, especially like there's a little more pressure now that we're the flagship station of Virginia Tech, but at the same time, I embrace that because I'm able to say, listen, we're carrying Virginia Tech basketball and football. That's fucking awesome. And baseball too. Like, that's fucking awesome.
Mm.
So, it's a little different in the fact that unless it's the Super Bowl or the World Series, like, we're not talking about national sports, but to be able to the way I understand it, athletes and coaches are kind of a la carte and anything is available. It's such a special feeling knowing that I have that ability. So, listen to The Drive every weekday, 4 to 6 p.m. Jeremy, I'd love to have you as a sponsor. I would love to have you back. I understand times are rough.
I will have you. And you will have me back when I have money again.
I fully understand. I get it. You know what I mean? Like, we had to raise our rates. I get it. That's one thing, but I would love to. I
don't even know what your rates are. I can't afford to sponsor anything else at this point.
I'd love to say a list of a few things you can kick to the curb, but that's just me.
I'd say the Counts Family Pharmacy. Like, I would love to have that as the text line again. And it's just, it's a new era. It's different. But you know what the best part about it is? Virginia Tech football is fun again. It's back.
Yes.
I think this is the year that they're back. And that's what makes it even better. That's another why. Going back to what I said earlier, like, I took this job because if Virginia Tech football was under new head coach, new job, 3-9, 3-8, like last season or 2 years ago was, that would have affected my decision. But there's hype around the program. Women's basketball should be fighting for the Elite 8, Sweet 16, Final Four. Who the fuck knows? Men's basketball should be good this year. Like, the page and baseball is producing people into the MLB draft. We just had a recruit come in for both football and baseball. Like the times are changing at Virginia Tech in terms of athletics, and I cannot be more excited to cover and talk about it. So the drive is back. I mean, we talked for 2 hours and 3 minutes. I got to go to bed. But you know what, Jeremy, Paul, thank you so much for having me on. Thanks for allowing me to get a little tipsy and a little drunk on a Thursday night like I used to in my college days. I'm so happy I did this. And it's Blacksburg on the rocks, baby. That's what it's about.
By the way, real quick,
it's been
North
good.
Dakota State
go ahead.
20-17 over Colorado. Deion Sanders is a sham. That's all I got to say.
He's always been a sham.
I bet them.
It's a charlatan. Yes. All right, everyone. Yes. This has been Blacksburg on the Rocks. Excellent. Hi, everyone. Bye.